Have you ever seen one of those very ugly apps? I know I've made a few and it's making tons of money and you think my app's beautiful. I'm using the latest Tailwind or Shadcn or just some great design package. Why isn't mine making tons of money? I have an answer for you that I keep in my pocket all the time. I've put it in the Conductor Framework and you can get it right now. But this tool is a book called Don't Make Me Think. This book came out years ago. I think it's about 30 years old and it's an oldie, but a goodie. It will take you step by step through just a bunch of very obvious rules that's so easy to forget. I know with all of the UI packages we have now, it's really easy to just spin up an app that looks pretty and functions like crap. I know this right now because I've literally gotten the functionality done for the media app I'm building for myself. And it looks okay visually, but I've been going through it yesterday and today, and I'm going through a UX audit, which is different than UI. And I think this is a real important distinction to make. UX audit is the user experience, how it behaves, how it flows, what people are seeing, feeling, doing while they're on the screen. The UI is just the UI. Does it look pretty? So mine kind of looks pretty, but there's tons of UX problems. And one of the things that I'm making that I'm giving to you now is a audit based off of this book called Don't Make Me Think by Stephen Krug that I've read for, I've been feeding off this book for years. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. So this is the app I'm building right now, and you can see it's pretty basic. This is not a walk up and use type of software. This is a deep tool that I use. And one of the illusions you can get into is I've spent hours building this thing. I know where every single thing in this app is, and I can navigate around it really quickly, but it's a garbage user experience because there's rule number one that Stephen Krug talks about. Actually has tons of rules, but this is one of my favorites. And that is that we are satisficing machines, meaning that it's very easy for us to look at this and get really detailed about what our navigation looks like and assume that like, oh, people will read this and they will understand. The thing is that people will not read and understand your UI. What they will do is they will glance over it and browse it, and then they will choose just the quickest reasonable option. And sometimes things can be right in front of their faces. I'm sure you've run into this, and they won't know it's there to click it because you need to make things really obvious. So people satisfy, we're not perfectly rational creatures that read through mega menus and know exactly where to click on things. So that's one of the things that I always remember about this book. The other thing is kind of the mindless click rule. This is number two. I think that there's this myth out there that exists that everything in your app needs to be accessible within 3 clicks. And while that's a general rule of thumb, it's not always true. There's software exists on a spectrum. Think of it on this side is the super easy, obvious size meant for people that a mass audience. Think of the software that you use when you walk up to an ATM. It has to be stupid obvious what you're clicking because millions of people are going to use that with all different types of intelligence levels, familiarity levels, accessibility levels. Blind people or nearly blind people will be using this software. All the way on the other side of the spectrum is think of a interface like when you're flying an airplane. Go look in the cockpit of a pilot and you'll see like hundreds, if not thousands of little switches. And that's because these people are specialists. They train for hours. They know where every little switch is so they can get really detailed so they can get to things in as few clicks as possible. But you have to know exactly where it's at. So there's always this trade-off between simplicity and complexity that you have to play with. And with an app like this that I'm building, it's somewhere in the middle. I'm still testing it out. And then the third rule that sticks out to me from Stephen's book is the trunk test. And the test for this is if you were blindfolded and put in the trunk of a car and then somebody opened up a laptop and went to a random page deep inside of your app, would you know where you are? So there's like 4 questions that he says you need to know. And the first one is, what site is this? I have this one, but it's up there in the top left-hand corner. It's Media Empire. What page am I on? I'm on the idea inbox. what are the major sections? The major sections in this are ingest, intelligence, production, repurposing, and distribution. And then where am I in the schema of things? So like if I click into this, for example, is it very clear that I'm inside of this page? I don't know. That's a little bit confusing to me. I mean, to me, it looks completely obvious, but I've been building this the whole time. So you can actually see the notes I have for this video right here. But yeah, I am putting this inside of the Conductor Framework, the exact checklist that I'm using for these UX audits when I get to a point where I'm about to, when I need to actually go and worry about usability a little more. All I've been doing up to this point on One Man Media Empire is just getting everything hooked up. There's so many different AI features in here that I've had to build and getting the database set up and all that stuff. I'm just happy that it's up and clickable right now, but it's not usable. So I'm going through this and I'm going through with my audit that the Conductor Framework has made for me, and I'm fixing all this stuff today. If you guys like videos like this, tell me. I think there's a lot of videos out there that talk all about the latest and greatest code thing, but there's tons of UX and product stuff that's just as important, if not more important, than all the cool little code libraries and stuff like that that we love and use every day. I think this is going to be even more true in the future as developing apps become easier and easier. The real thing that's going to separate great apps from just mediocre apps is going to increasingly be the user experience, the product packaging, all of that type of stuff. Writing the code eventually is going to become, you know, nothing. Everybody's going to be able to do it. So that's going to be the thing that separates you. Anyway, subscribe if you like this. You can get this checklist, this UX audit for free. It's inside of the Conductor Framework at testimprod.co. And thanks for watching.